reports. Moving on to old business. First item on the agenda, resolution number 2015-276. I'm sure that's the thing.
I'll speak fast, but no speed talking here. Well, from the meeting last week, Council, you gave me some very good feedback, and I appreciate that. So I had some conversation with the consultant team, learned a couple things I didn't know as a result. And so tonight, just as summary, the pavement management study will get us an objective look at the street network, and it will provide us information that will allow us to know a numerical rating based on objective criteria that we can then predict the financial impacts going forward of what it would cost to bring the street network up to a standard that's acceptable to the city. And there will be a range of options to help you determine what that standard is or should be. One of my homework assignments between the two meetings was to have the services clarified a little bit. And so one of the first things doing that was to get the baseline services, which was the basic rating service, and getting the pavement condition index developed. The supplemental criteria was looking at a sign inventory database and what was involved in that. Councilmember Cave had asked a question, did the sign inventory database include looking at things like sightline distances, and the short answer is no, it did not, but it does look at things like the cardinal direction of the signs, north, south, east, west, the type of material that the sign is made out of, the type of vinyl that the signs are made up, the size of the lettering, and things like that that are very important to maintain the inventory. So it gets that type of information, and we'll talk about things like the condition of the sign itself from excellent to poor. And then with that information, then staff has the ability to know which areas of signs and the number of signs where to focus our limited dollars upon. Secondly, the costs are clearly identified now, where it was still a little bit of an open question from last meeting. So the baseline services plus the sign inventory cost a total of $37,000 and $37,895. Councilmember Walker had asked about foregoing the presentation final report to council in order to save $3,000. And we did. However, if you look on page 19 of your packet or Exhibit A, what was not clear in the consultant's proposal on the document is when you do the sign database inventory or one of the other inventory types like sidewalks or the ADA ramps and things like that, is they have to set up additional cameras on the vehicle, and that wasn't clear in their proposal. But working through that, it was explained. So that's an extra $2,000. So while we didn't get the full savings for the $3,000, there was some savings by foregoing the meeting. At this point, I'll stop and answer any questions that council may have.
Questions from council? What's council's pleasure?
Move to approve resolution 2015-276. Second.
Councilmember Putnam, would you like to speak to your motion?
This is certainly something we need to do as far as the pavement condition. We've got lots of pavement that needs work. We need some rational basis to go to it. Seems like a reasonable price to pay for the amount of information. The signage is information we would have to collect at some point anyway. As noted earlier, we've got some transportation element things that are out of date, and this plays into those as well. So all in all, it's a reasonable price for work that needs to be done.
Councilmember Walker.
I agree with Josh, but this also will help us. I know that with this potential item for Finance Committee to look at, we've also talked about, possibly street leveling. This will give us information that we can actually build a plan, a solid plan, and take to the voters.
Comments from the audience? Seeing none, further comments from council? Roll call of council, please.
Councilmember Durbin? Aye. Councilmember Case?
Aye.
Councilmember Olivera? Aye. Councilmember Putnam?
Aye.
Councilmember Walker?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you, council.
Next item on the agenda is setting the date for the city council budget workshop on August 35th, 2016 at 6:30.
So first thing I want to ask is, do any of you have really good pictures they want to see in the budget? And in the presentation? We're not allowed to do clip art. So, as I told you earlier, we're really targeting this date to have it's called a proposed preliminary budget, and it's the first draft. We usually don't have to have it until later, but I thought if we get a good jump start, and we want to have something to work with that you can look at both revenues and expenditures. The first one is only supposed to be expenditures, but I'm going to try and include both with the staff support now that we have. We should be able to do that. I just won't sleep very much in August, but that's okay. It's December. So, but anyway, any ideas you have on how you want this meeting to run as far as what we're going to deliver? And I think, you know, I'm also the finance director and how important a budget is to me, but to you, I've read, to you, the council and the mayor, is that this is the single most important document, policy document you will pass for the upcoming year. So I would really welcome any and all input. Committees are doing great. They're giving me a lot of guidance. Anybody has ideas, shoot them to me, because we're going to start building next week. And so I want this to be just the best we've had so far as a joint effort. You know, when I first came here, it was about me cleaning up and getting something together really fast. And then last year it was about bringing staff on and trying to get things complete. Again, not so fast, but bringing new staff on. Now we've got to have the staff here for a year, almost a year, and I think we can put together, you know, a sharp budget for 2016. It's going to be a challenge because we have increased costs. We're going to increase them due to the union negotiations, upgrading systems like we know we have to. A lot of things are being discovered by Jack and Lance that are going to go into this budget. I'm hopeful the legal side will go down because we've done a lot with that, but there's so much to go into it that I want to make sure of like what you want to see from those highlighted items in the committee meetings, how important they are to you, and anything else that you can think of so we can actually have something. I want your section, the council section, which is usually pretty short, to have more information for me to provide on your goals and what you would like to see. So what we need tonight, excuse me, and what we need is just to schedule the first, you know, workshop. Go ahead, sorry. I'm done.
Questions from council? Councilmember Case?
I'm wondering if as part of this, you know, the budget process is still fairly new to me, you know, because I'm kind of a novice in this whole council thing as it is. Can we get an update on where we're at the current budget so that we can kind of relate how the budget works, so that when we're planning for the future, we can put realistic expectations into the budget?
Well, yeah, I didn't speak to this at my report. The quarterly reports for second quarter will come out in August. I'm working with staff now to have them by the second workshop. So it's going to kind of join up with, so you'll see the comparatives. You'll have a 2014, 15 where we're at, and 16 what we're proposing. That's how it's going to look. That's good because throwing out 13, because 13 was really not a true representation of the city.
It's a different type of program.
Yeah. So it'll show you where we're at now and what I project. We can project a little better now that we've got 6 months. Really, we'll have 7, but we'll have 6 months, and we control a lot of the expenses, and we know what the payroll's going to be. So yes, we can give you that. And that's what my plan is, to have that first column, and then the second column will be, no, the first column will be 14, and 15 proposed, 16 budget. And that's how it will continue to go. And as we go through the process in September, we'll have more numbers. We'll keep updating it so that they're more accurate. You never really finish until the year's over, but you get better ideas of where you're at. And then you can ask questions to see, well, how come this is so high, or things like that. So we'll do that in Finance Committee meeting, too. It's going to be a long meeting. So.
So for this meeting, is it possible to focus more on the general fund than the enterprise fund? I know
Sure.
the enterprise funds are important, but I think the meat and potatoes are done in the general fund. Unless there's some anomaly that you want us to look at, And even if you wanted to include Valentine and Stewart, just because those are such huge projects, but sewer, garbage, all those funds, I think we can look at a little later.
I think that's a good idea. I think the general fund is the most challenging fund to budget for now because it's really got a lot coming out of it. And so we need to talk of alternative forms of revenues, resources that it can come up with, because that's the heart, really it's the heartbeat of the city, is how well your general fund's doing. The utilities, as you probably know, they're doing fine and they're driven by their own revenues, but they also get support from the general fund. So we'll do that. We'll put those, general fund will be first, and then we'll have just little secondary comments on the other funds if there's something you need to know, we feel at this time. Okay.
Other questions from council? So is there a motion from council?
I move to set a workshop, set the date for the city council budget workshop on August 31st, 2015, at 6:30 p.m.
Okay, Councilmember Kay, would you like to speak to your motion?
I think it's good to separate it so that it's basically a single topic to focus on, because it's an important one, and we won't be distracted by other things.
Councilmember Olivera?
I'm not sure if we'll be distracted till your fifth Monday. Will we have an audience?
Fifth Monday will be a budget workshop, unfortunately, this month.
Okay. So there'd be cake.
So, comments from the audience? Further comments from council? Seeing none, all those in favor of setting the city council budget workshop for August 31st, 2015 at 6:30, please, and signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So the next item on the agenda is the